Welcome back to another re-review. Today we are looking at not a locomotive but a train pack, and it is the Thames 4th Express train pack. And here it is. Now in this pack you get a beautiful black 5 in LMS livery, 2 LMS composite coaches and 1 LMS brake coach. And my god, it is an absolutely beautiful train pack, as you can see. Now, if I just find you a small sheet of paper. Sorry. Now, here's my folder where I keep instructions and things like that. Most people do these nowadays if you got lots of locomotives. But anyway, here is the certificate of authentication for the Thames 4th Express. As you can see, LMS 460 Black 5 class locomotive, 2 LMS composite coaches and 1 LMS brake coach. The Thames 4th service, which operated from London St Pancras and ran out on the LMS rails to Edinburgh Waverley, first started operating in 1927 and was one of the services that was set up in competition with the LNER. The LNER were rivals of the LMS for the lucrative revenue generated by the London to Scotland passenger services. Service left St Pancras at 9:05 AM, and during the years prior to the Second World War became one of the fastest, arriving at Waverley at 5:45 PM. During the Second World War, the service, like so many others, was suspended, and although the service was partially restored, the name never was. Both the locomotive and the coaches are partially representative of those used on the Thames 4th Express in the late 1930s. So, it was a service, so it was an express service up to Scotland. So there's a lot of information there, and it is number 325 out of 1200, and there is Simon Kohler, the guy at Hornby, who also kindly signed it. Thanks, Simon. But anyway, let's get on to the detail of this locomotive. Now just look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Thames is just here, if you're wondering, and the coaches are just there. As you can see, I'll review those right after I review the locomotive. But wow, look at her, isn't she beautiful? Sprung buffers, as you would expect, and just look at those wheels. Those massive wheels. I mean, they're very typical of the Black 5. They had massive wheels, and we all know the Black 5s. They're very classic. They're a very classic British steam locomotive design. They were one of the most numerous. I think over 800 were built of them. So they were seen practically not just in most parts of the LMS, they were seen practically in every part of the LMS network, but in also other locations such as the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. They were seen in Wales, they were seen in Scotland, basically all parts of the country. Well, where the LMS operated at first, but then I think they started going to other places as well. And then in the 1950s, BR designed the standard class 5MT, which was not like this, but it used a lot of blueprints. But they were less, and although they were more powerful, there were less built of them. There were only 175 built of these standard 5s, whereas these were obviously more numerous. And these survived right up, literally right up to the end of steam. The very last steam hauled service on BR, which was the 15 Guinness special in August 1968. I'm not too sure the exact date, but it was in August 1968. It was hauled by 2 Black 5s, so they did continue quite a lot of, so they did provide quite a lot of services, and they were also mixed traffic engines, so they were very reliable. So the Black 5s are not only are they famous, but they were very reliable and very classic, and they will live on for forever. I mean, there's 18 of them preserved, which is quite good. It's quite a lot of them, which is good. But anyway, let's carry on with the detail. As you can see, it's very nice. I mentioned sprung buffers, and the detail on the coupling connecting rods are just really nice. If you notice, the tapered boiler, which was inspired by the GWR, William Stanley was inspired by the GWR to have this tapered boiler, which is also seen on the Jubilee classes. So yeah, this is GWR inspired, and it's also seen on GWR locomotives, of course, like the Castle class and the King class. Yeah, but I love the shape of it. It's quite interesting. But the handrails are really nice. There's a very nice safety valves, very nice whistle, and look, the cab roof vent actually opens and closes, which is really nice. Wow. There's rivets in, well, where they should be. Wow, that's just amazing. And the other side is just as nice. You get a very nice pipe along here. I'm not too sure what that is, but it obviously has a purpose. A very nice dome, and I think there's a top feed there, but I'm not too sure. And you also get sand pipes here, and it seems to have snapped off there, but you can just see a bit of it. And the brake rods, which I've added myself, and the brake pipe at the front, which I've also added myself. They come as an accessory. 5P, 5F, so 5 in total. So as a whole, it was a 5MT, and number is 5026. And just look at just look at the cab. Isn't that amazing? You get the regulator, the brake handle, and all the pipe work and the valves. Yeah, it's just really nice. And these things to stop the crew from falling off. And there's the connection to the tender with extra pickups. Speaking of which, the tender is right here. I forgot to mention, the locomotive is fairly heavy. It is fairly heavy. It will be able to pull a fair load, and the tender is reasonably heavy. It's not, and neither the locomotive is not either, as in really heavy. But the tender's it's got a fair amount of weight to it, which is good, because it will not, not make so much noise like what lighter tenders do. But anyway, there's the front with 2 levers, as you can see, and that's where the coal comes out. The wheels are very nice, and there are extra pickups on these wheels too. The coupling is a NEM coupling, so you can pull it out and put your own in. Again, buffers are sprung, and there's even little writing there. See, 4,000 gallon tender, little footsteps and rivets again, and where the crew opens to fill the locomotive with water, And the coal, which, if you're wondering, is removable, as you can see, so you can put in your own, which is a nice touch. And LMS, London, Midland and Scottish Railway, very nice. Absolutely beautiful locomotive, just hooked the two together. Wow, just look at that. Wow, isn't she amazing? It's absolutely beautiful. Now let's put the locomotive to one side and take a look at the coaches, just here. So these coaches are not premium coaches. They're, well, let's put in. These coaches are not the premium Hornby LMS coaches. As you can see, they're quite basic. Not the ones with sprung buffers and NEM couplings and little fine details on the roof and little fine details on the bottom. You know, it's just a standard railroad one. But it's, you know, it's to keep its costs down, really, because if they used the premium coaches, the price of this would have exceeded £200, whereas this costs £115, and it is worth it. But despite the fact that the coaches are basic, they are really nice. They do look really, really nice. I mean, they don't have, thankfully, they don't have plastic wheels, unlike the ones which you can get on their own. You can get these on their own and they have plastic wheels, but it is of course easy to replace them. You just prise the two, you prise the axle boxes apart and then you remove the wheel, and it's pretty easy. And so there's one composite coach, and this one is 4069. The next composite coach is 4070. As you can see, it's exactly like the other one, except there's a different number. It's a very nice LMS logo there. If the camera can focus. Yep, there you go. And the delivery is very nice as well. It's quite basic, but yeah, at least it's maroon and not teak like LNER coaches, because that would be quite wrong. And here's the brake coach, which is like the other one. Like the other ones, but it has this they cut out obviously the passenger saloon here and put in a guard section, and it doesn't just carry the guard, it carries luggage and things which cannot be carried in the passenger compartments. And the number of this coach is 5709. So overall, I'm very pleased with this train pack. In terms of detail, okay, the coaches are not the most detailed, but the locomotive is really nice. But now let's see how they perform. Oh, and before I begin, the locomotive is DCC ready, and she has been DCC'd. But now let's see how they perform. Here we have the Hornby Thames 4th Express train pack on the track, and let's just have a brief look around the train. See, here's the black fibre locomotive, absolutely beautiful. Just look at the wheels. And there's the coaches, all really nice. And now let's give her some juice, and away she goes. Wow, just look at that. Not only is she very well detailed, but she's a very good performer. Wow, just look how smoothly she runs. And the coaches behind her may not be the most detailed, but wow, they run really nicely as well. Wow. Let's get a few line side shots of her. So yeah, as you can see, she's absolutely beautiful. Wow. Let's just put her to the maximum speed and see how she really ran the Thames Forth Express. Wow. So yeah, she handles high speeds very nicely as well. But let's slow her down to halfway speed again. There we go. Absolutely brilliant. Stunning. In conclusion, I recommend her. She's worth the money. I mean, such a gorgeous locomotive, such nice coaches, which may not be the most detailed, but you know, they do look really nice. And the performance is just excellent. Also DCC ready. Wow. It's just absolutely amazing. Highly recommended. If you're a fan of the LMS, you need this. You really need this. But not just if you're a fan of the LMS, but you know, if you just like steam engines in general, then I do recommend it. But anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next review.